If there is one thing life will always teach you, my sister, it is this. Karma does not misplace an address. You can think you're the most powerful man in the world. You can treat women like disposable trash, but the universe always keep receipts. Welcome back to our review series of The Polygamist. Today we are diving into part 3. And we are going to cover the absolute chaos of episode 18 to 20. And honestly, my jaw is still on the floor. We went from horrific domestic abuse to a man crawling on the floor in his own filth, abandoned by every people he had traded his family for. This episode I want us to sit down today to unpack this heavy, intense breakdown. We are going to look at how Jonasi's empire is crumbling and the quiet escape of Matipa, the absolute cold-heartedness of Lindani, and the chilly confrontation where Joyce finally snaps. Grab your tea, because we have a lot of real-life lessons to dissect today. If you're joining the family for the first time today, you're very welcome. This is a safe space where we look past the surface drama of these stories to understand human psychology, accountability, and self-worth. Episodes 18 to episode 20 gave us everything, but it also left us with some very uncomfortable truths about how toxicity can be passed down to the next generation. And by the end of this video, we are going to analyze why Jonas's downfall was self-inflicted, why a slay queen will never cover your shame when life hits you, and the generational curse that is already starting with Mehiz. Let's dive straight into episode 18. Episode 18 opens in a very heavy, dark place. We see Joyce, and immediately you can see the darkness under her eyes. Jonas has physically DV her. You know the meaning of DV. Go and search for it. I don't want to mention what it's called here on YouTube. And as if that is not heartbreaking enough, we cut to Matipa sitting in the car with Jonas' brother Magesh. She shows her face to him. Jonas DV her too. Not just that, so he froze her account to the point where this woman cannot even afford to buy basic drinking water. Look at the classic narcissist behavior there. Jonas realized that his grip on these women is slipping, so he resorts to physical violence and physical abuse to force compliance. He actually turns around and tells Joyce they should go back to how they used to be. The audacity. But see how wide this family dynamic is. Sarah, Ace's daughter, actually tries to seduce her uncle, Magesh. Thank God Magesh has some sense left. He stops and reports her to her mother. Sarah's mom took her to a herbalist because at this point, spiritual and psychological intervention is needed. Meanwhile, Joyce and Matipa share a heartbreaking moment where they reveal their injuries to each other. Jonas DV Matipa with a belt. The shared trauma is heavy. Matipa realized that she cannot survive in this environment. She does something desperate. She leaves her twins babies to Joyce to run errands, but it wasn't an errand. She leaves a letter that Mahez later reads. She apologized. She said she needs to rebuild her life, and she completely runs away, abandoning her twins. My sister, when a woman gets to the point where she leaves her own newborns just to escape a man, you know she has been pushed to the absolute brink of insanity. But let's talk about Magesh, because he finally stepped up as a brother and as in-law to Joyce. After Joyce showed him her bruised face and asked him, like, what kind of brother do you have? And why are you just sitting quiet and watching all of these things happening? Magesh finally stands up to Jonas, and Jonas was like, and he tells him that enough is enough. He has urged Joyce enough, and before you know it, the two brothers, they start doing goes. Magesh dragged him outside and threw his luggage outside. Jonas now, after being thrown out of his home, like the house that is living with Joyce, he went to Ace's house to, to relax, to just stay there for some days. And when he got there, he sees another man with her. he tries to beat Isse, I don't know how to pronounce her name, please pardon me, Sarah's mom. But thank God the man stood up to her. This new man refused him beating Sarah's mom. So after the Jonas was like, the man showed him, pim, pim, pim. He just maintained himself. And Jonas went back. Now look at Jonas' delusion in episode 19. Joyce goes to tell him about Matipa abandoning the twins, but she finds him with Lindani, the side chick. And at first, like, Jonas was like, I'm so sorry for what Matipa did, and thank you so much. You are a good woman. Joyce was like, a good woman. She just, and do you know the funny thing? Jonas plays the victim. He tells Lindani that everyone, Joyce, Magesh, Matipa, Sarah's mom, they are all going to pay. And Lindani played the perfect supportive slave queen, consoles him, tell him, oh my God, Lindani told him that she's his only family now. But remember what we said about funding an illusion. Magesh gets sacked from work. That is Jonas. Jonas sacked his brother because his brother stood up to him. Jonas is losing his grip on everything, so he's trying to control everybody. And because a dog will always return to its vomits, you know, like after he says not today for your answer, you will come back. That's what he thought. And Jonas was home. Matipa's friend comes to the house to look for her. Jonas is right there. It starts, you know, before you know, the woman was like, she needs some water. So the woman entered the house. Before you know it, Jonas starts caressing her. They start bickering. Before you know what happened, they start kissing and they go completely crazy. Even in his mess, his promiscuity cannot stop. This man keep going. The man, the fire, they go. The man, the fire, they go. And do you know what? God has a way of slowing a man down. Jonas falls severely here because he every time will be the he's coughing. So he goes to the hospital and the doctor drops a bombshell. He has pneumonia. So Jonas was like, oh, pneumonia. Oh, his throat is going to clear if he takes some drug, medication and everything. Before you know it, the doctor told him he has the doctor told him that he's HIV positive. Jonas starts arguing with the doctor, screaming that it's impossible. But as he's arguing with the doctor, his brain forces him to remember. We see the flashbacks, all the affairs, all the unprotected mekwe encounters, all the women he used and threw away. He saw all of that. We fast forward 2 years later into episode 20 and sees the contrast is terrifying. Jonas is on his sick bed, coughing, weak, pine. I don't want to say the word in English, you understand? And where is Lindani, the woman who said she was his family? Lindani has turned the house into a brothel. She's actively bringing other men into Jonas' house, sleeping with them, while Jonas is stuck in the next room, coughing, sick and weak. There's this horrific scene that I want to tell you guys, where Jonas falls off from the bed. I think he needs help with something. He was crawling on the floor, weeping and calling for help, calling Lindani's name, but Lindani did not even have time for him. There was a time that he even tried to like stand up, but he shit himself, so he fell back down on the floor. Jonas, the big Jonasi of the Gomorrah family, abi? Then I don't know the kind of God that entered Linda, and she came back. Then she tried to like help him. Then she found out that Jonas has shit himself. Think about this. A man who used to be a wealthy, arrogant polygamist, beating women and freezing accounts, is now lying in his own feces, begging a girl who doesn't care if he breathes or fight. And I want you to take a moment to look at this poetic. Just like justice of the editing, you know, the way the movie was. While Jonas is crawling in his own shit or in his own mess, the scene cut to Joyce. Joyce is beautifully dressed. in white, beautiful clothes. She's glowing, celebrating with friends and family. Her son is there, her daughter is there, announcing that she's writing her memo and making a toast to her new life. Lindani finally decides she's tired of the burden. She drags Jonas into the bathroom, puts him under the shower. She was holding it like this, pouring water on his head. Jonas was crying. Lindani was shouting at him. I said it was Lindani shouting at him and tells him that you're going to cry anyway. Like, oh my God. Jonas cried blood. Before you know it, while Joyce is at the party, Lindani just rolls him out and tells Joyce, it is time for you to take over your husband. She left. Lindani is completely done enjoying his money now that he's trash. She dumps him back to his wife. This brings us to the most powerful scene of this episodes. Jonas is back in the house with Joyce. He's sitting in that wheelchair, completely pathetic. He asks Joyce to help him to call Lindani. Joyce look at him. She tells him that Lindani is not coming back. She tells him that Lindani is gone. He relied on her. She's gone and she's not coming back. And the tragedy here is that their son, Mahiz, is hearing that from his own room. He's hearing his father being completely degraded. But wait, Mahiz has already started sleeping with his father's secretary. He is already picking up his father's promiscuous habits. The generational curse is already copying and pasting itself. Joyce looks at Jonas and calls him exactly what he is, an entitled bastard. She mocks him. She looks at this dying man and says, I was ready to look past everything you did. I was ready to build with you, but you choose a slave queen over me. So now go back to your trash. And in one final explosive release of years of bottled up pain, DV and humiliation, Joyce pushed Jonas out of the wheelchair. Joyce looks down at him. Jonas was crying, wailing, crying, calling, Joyce! Wow. Episode 18 to 20 really showed us that when you sow chaos, you will harvest destruction. Jonas thought that he was untouchable, but he ended up losing his health, his dignity, and the respect of his children. But this is not the end of the story. We still have the absolute finale, episode 21 and 22 left to review. In our next video, we are going to see how this entire saga finally wraps up, what's become of Joyce's memo, and if Maze will completely ruin his life like his father did. I want to hear from you in the comments below. What did you think about Joyce's final action in this episode? Was she right to push him out of the wheelchair, or did she go too far? Let's talk about it. I will be down there responding to as many of you as possible. Thank you for sitting down with me today on Dsoftliving. If you have not subscribed yet, join the family so you don't miss the final part of this review. Protect your peace, look after your self-worth, and I will see you in our next conversation.